can I talk? Why? Hello YouTube. So I know I haven't posted a video in a couple weeks, but I am back. My summer classes are done this week, but the main reason why I haven't been filming, the real reason why I haven't really been filming besides finishing my summer classes and everything is because I've had a lot of anxiety lately. And I've suffered from anxiety my entire life. I know that anxiety is normal for everybody, but sometimes it gets to me really bad to where I'm not sleeping well, I'm not really taking care of myself well. So that's kind of the spot where I was, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to do a positivity video. Those are some of my favorite videos to watch, and I want to help you guys, so maybe you can have a little bit less anxiety than I do. These are some of the strategies that have helped decrease my anxiety when I needed it to, and I'm really excited to share this video with you guys, so I'm just going to get right into it. Okay, so the first thing that I can recommend for you to do if you are starting to feel super anxious is find somebody that you can talk to openly and in detail about it. I know that sometimes it's difficult to go to someone when you have anxiety because you don't want to bring someone else down, or you might feel embarrassed, or you might be afraid or anxious about something that you think someone else will judge you about. But try to find like 2-3 people in your life that you know you can call. Like my mom is my go-to person to call whenever I'm really freaking out. Just find someone who cares about you and who's not going to judge you, because if you keep building it inside of you, if you keep replaying the fear over and over in your own head and trying to talk it out with yourself, odds are is that you'll just build it up and make it even more irrational and more terrifying. So just find a couple people you can talk to and really open up to, because it's really helpful to let out your feelings. My second tip is to journal. And this is really important to do, and it's something that I am slacking on and that I know I really need to start doing again. Is journaling is so important because it's a way of letting out your feelings in a healthy way. Like, let's say someone you really need to talk to isn't available, they might be busy, you might be really stressed out and just need to do something, and journaling is such a productive thing to do, just getting your feelings out on paper. And it also gives you the opportunity to rationally evaluate your feelings. If you keep building them up in your head, you kind of make it worse, but if you're writing them out on paper and reading it out loud to yourself, it's easier to see, okay, maybe this isn't the most rational fear, I can fix this. Now that I've broken it down and I've written it out for me to see, it can definitely be much easier to deal with that way. And it's also therapeutic to write and to just be creative, especially, and find things that you like to do to express yourself. That really helps with anxiety. One of my favorite things to do when I am super anxious is to read. And a lot of people avoid self-help books because sometimes they can be really cheesy. There's so many of them, some people are embarrassed to purchase them. But I have this whole stack of books here, and these are all the self-help books that I have right now, and I have like 2 more on their way from Amazon right at this very moment. Sometimes they can be a little cheesy, but it's so important to sometimes sit down and read in general. I know that like in high school and stuff, like my love for reading was kind of taken away from me because we were forced to read things, and we were forced to read things that sometimes weren't interesting to us. So it's important to read things that are really interesting to you. And as somebody who will get stressed out kind of easily, it isn't too hard to trigger that stress in me. It's really nice to have these books on hand. Some of my favorites are Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and The Secret. I really like The Secret. It's not going to be for everybody because it's like a theory. It's not really a proven kind of thing. It's all about the law of attraction. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's basically whatever you think you become is kind of the mantra that goes along with that. And that's important to me because anxiety is based in my thinking and my thinking patterns and jumping to conclusions and building up fear in my head. So finding a way to control your thinking to where you can change your life based on the way you think is super awesome and super fascinating to me. The Secret also has a documentary. It is on Netflix, so if you have a Netflix, I definitely recommend you check that out. But if you're not really interested in The Secret, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff is a great classic by Richard Carlson. I told you everything, and I like this book because it's really diverse. There's so many different things it goes over because there's so many different things that people get anxious about. So lots of great coping skills in here. I have another Law of Attraction book, 365 Ways to Live the Law of Attraction. I have Keep Calm and Carry On. I have Each Day is a New Beginning and What Happy Women Know. And I have not read all of these yet, and I probably will never read every single page of all of these. This is a lot of reading. But it's nice when you're in a moment of panic and you're freaking out to pick up a book and have someone say, it is okay that you are freaking out, because sometimes when you freak out you feel like you're this abnormal freak, and you're not. I promise you're not. So if you don't want to read the self-help books, read something that you enjoy. Distraction and doing things that you love is a great way to cope with anxiety. Obviously you do have to face it and deal with it head on, but if anxiety is really bringing you down and you can't get your homework done, you can't sleep well, distraction and finding things that you like and things to entertain you is a really great skill that has helped me through hard times in my life. That is why I started my movie collection. I have my movie collection video here on my channel. Definitely check it out. That is why I started it. Sometimes I would get really anxious and I wouldn't, sometimes like when it's late at night you don't can't really go to anyone. I can't call my mom at 2 in the morning, so I pop in a movie, I pop in something that's going to make me happy, and it really helps ease the anxiety a lot. YouTube has been really helpful for me. Last night I had some trouble sleeping because I had so much on my mind, and I just put on YouTube, started watching some funny videos, and I felt better enough to where I could go to sleep. So find things like that that you like to do. Also any extracurriculars. I know when you're anxious, all you want to do is curl into a ball and lay on your bed and go to sleep forever and hide in the darkness. But it's so important to get out, because once you are out, you'll realize how much better it is than sitting and feeling like poop. Definitely recommend joining a club, maybe getting a job, and it might sound like more things that are going to stress you out, but it's healthy stress, and I would rather be at my job like stressed out but knowing I'm getting paid and knowing that I'm doing something productive than being at home stressed out about maybe school or something and crying on my bed curled up in a ball. So that is another tip that I have for you guys. Another tip that I have is counseling or therapy, and I know not everyone believes in therapy. I am a little biased because I actually want to be a therapist when I go ahead and graduate from college and everything, and I think it's definitely really underestimated. It can be so powerful if you choose to do it, and if you choose to do it all the way, because it's so nice, at least in my opinion, to talk to someone who doesn't know every single thing about you. There's no judgment there, there's no bias there. They can tell you things very straight up and honestly without worried about, oh, am I going to hurt your feelings, am I going to stress you out? Like, they're not going to be like, oh, I know you and I know I can't tell you this because you're going to freak out. They are super honest and unbiased, which is really, really great, and their job is to listen to you, so they're not going to be distracted, they're not going to get frustrated with you and be like, oh, whatever, like, I don't care. I have gone to therapy before, and I always feel 10 times better every time I get out, just talking to someone, letting out my feelings, and hearing that A, I'm not crazy, B, my problems are fixable, and C, I have the capability to fix my problems. It's really nice to have that validated and reiterated to me. If you are in college, I know my college has a free counseling service. If you're in high school, they have high school counselors. Don't be afraid to talk to your parents and just check it out. Go to one session, see how it feels for you. It might not be for everybody, but I know for me it has been really helpful, and I definitely recommend trying out that if you're having some bad anxiety. The last thing I want to talk about is confidence and taking care of yourself. I know, like I said, when I have anxiety and when most people have anxiety, they just kind of want to curl in a ball and not do anything and just sleep or cry or eat. and avoid the world, but it is so important to take care of yourself, and this is something that I still have not been able to master. So I understand it is really, really difficult to take care of yourself. It sounds so easy and so common sense and so obvious, but it is really hard to eat well, exercise well, you know, be productive in your classes, be productive in your job, be productive in your relationships. It's actually like so much is in that. Like, taking care of yourself means so many things, and it's a lot of work, especially if you've developed really bad habits like I have had with my anxiety. So definitely take it small. I'm assuming everyone who's watching me is relatively young, like around my age or maybe a little bit younger, and at this point in our lives we're so young that we can change these habits so that we can create better habits for the rest of our lives, which is going to be a really long time. So start off small, do baby steps, try to maybe sleep like a half hour earlier than you usually do. Really push yourself to be productive. I am a procrastinator to the extreme, and there's nothing worse than having a project due the next day and spending the entire day before doing it. It is so stressful. I've done it. I've pulled all-nighters, and it's really not healthy for your brain or your body or yourself. And I think you are more prone to anxiety and stress and fear when you aren't productive. Me, when I get really, really anxious, I'll take the time to have my moment, and then I know that I have to go out and do something. Like right now, I'm filming, and I should have kept on filming during when I was anxious, just because it's so helpful just to talk, even if it's just to a couple of subscribers that I have now, which I really appreciate. So take small baby steps and do one thing every day that's actually beneficial for yourself, whether it's eating a healthy meal for lunch or dinner, eating breakfast. I know I never eat breakfast, which is terrible, but maybe doing that, maybe going out and exercising, going to a Zumba class, which Zumba is my favorite, maybe hanging out with a friend or contacting someone you haven't seen in a really long time. Because I know that I started working out recently and I already feel a lot better. Endorphins are a thing. So definitely try to take care of yourself to the best of your abilities. I know that, especially in this day and age, and being a pre-teenager, teenager, young adult, there are so many stresses. I feel like it's definitely one of the most stressful periods in anyone's life is these young years. You have so many hormones, you're so worried about relationships, there's so many new things that you're experiencing, and it can be super overwhelming, but just know that you are not alone. Always try to find the evidence of your fears. So it's definitely a lot about finding the evidence, and I say that a lot because that's a phrase that I've been told by a therapist, and my mom reiterates to me every time I call her and say, oh my gosh, I failed a test, I'm going to fail to college. She's like, find the evidence. Give me proof that because you failed this test, you're going to drop out of college. And I can never find proof for that because it's irrational. So I know this society is scary. I know over the news there's so many scary things that sometimes happen in the world, and the media definitely sensationalizes things, and you never turn on the news and hear about happy things. So just try to surround yourself with happiness and joy and energy and productiveness, and realize that you are not alone. Realize that every pain, every anxiety, every worry that you have is always temporary. But in your entire life, there's always going to be things that you're worried about. Sometimes I'm like, oh, once I get over this test, I'm never going to have a worry in my life. Oh, excuse me, it burped. Sometimes I'll take the test, and then the next day I'll find something else to worry about. And it's never ending, so you really have to develop these coping mechanisms early on, as fast as you can, so you can live the rest of your life not worry-free, but confident in your ability to handle the obstacles that come your way. Know that you are beautiful. Know that you are confident, that you are worth loving, that you are an amazing human being who was put on this planet for a reason. You weren't here to just fill up space and take everyone's oxygen. I promise everyone is important, and you decide how you're going to live your life. No one decides that for you. So not even anxiety. sometimes I literally have to tell myself, really, anxiety brain, am I really going to let you ruin my life? No, you can't. So anyway, these were just some of my tips. These are some of my positivity tips for you guys. If you guys do have any personal questions or really want to talk to me about anything, definitely feel free to inbox me. I really enjoy helping people, and it would be an honor for me to give you some advice personally. If you would like that, definitely inbox me and leave a comment, like this page. I want to do a room tour soon, and there's so many things I'm excited to do. If you have any requests for videos, definitely comment down below, and a boyfriend tag is in the works as well. So stay tuned. I hope this video was helpful for you, and I will catch you guys really soon. Sooner than 2 weeks, I promise. So see you later.